Good evening, everyone. We'll get started. I'll now call to order the Tuesday, November 23rd regular meeting of council meeting to order. First item under the agenda is item 2.1, adoption of the agenda. As amended, please council to include under correspondence for action 6.2, the waiving of fees of the community hall for the National Defence Department. Mover, Councillor G, Councillor Pearson. Any discussion on the amendment or any further additions? Hearing none, all in favor? It's carried. Adoption of the November 9th, 2021 regular meeting of council be adopted. Councillor MacLean, Councillor Blanchette, any errors or omissions arising? All in favor? It's carried. No delegations this evening. We do have under 6.1 correspondence for action. Robson Valley Community Services request for support for a coordinator for men's programming. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor G, any discussion? I think this is a great one.
Sorry. Yeah, this is a great opportunity, and this is just a letter of support from council for a men's coordinator to work within the community. As we know, we have a lot of issues, and there aren't a lot of supports there for men, practically nil. So this is a great opportunity.
I'm hoping we can also find some time to engage with the Ministry of Mental Health and Addictions, particularly their Pathways for Hope programming, with a line item in April's budget of $500 million. So hopefully they can gain access to some of that. Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 6.2, waiving of fees, Community Hall for National Defence Department. Recommendation that council waive all fees associated with the use of Community Hall for the National Defence Department while traveling through Valemount to assist the Lower Mainland with a provincial state of emergency due to recent flooding. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean, discussion. They're also using the Canoe Valley Rec Center for hygiene purposes. Councillor Pearson?
So just a quick question for clarification. So because they're kind of random stops in and out, are we responsible for cleaning the hall every day after, or is it going to be a one-time clean after they've been in for a certain number of days? I mean, it's going to take a lot of time for the caretaker or the cleaner.
Mrs. McNee?
It'll be one time after that.
Okay, thank you.
So it's basically theirs until they say we're not using it anymore. Very good. I imagine they'll have some sort of cleaning regime as well.
Yeah.
Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Anything out of the reading file folks would like to bring forward? Administrative reports, 8.1, accounts payable report that the October 2021 be received for information. Councillor G, Councillor Blanchette. Any discussion, questions for finance? All in favor? It's carried. 8.2, new Centennial Park washroom update. Report be received for information. Councillor Pearson, Councillor MacLean, discussion. Councillor Pearson.
Yeah, I just want to thank them for the report. I know we had a discussion about getting it open, so it's nice to see the clarification on the deficiencies that need to be taken care of before it can be open. So, great report.
Awesome. Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.3, Columbia Basin Trust Community Readiness Program. Recommendation here that staff be directed to apply to the Columbia Basin Trust Community Readiness Program for a maximum of $100,000 to purchase and install a generator for the community hall. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor G, discussion. Councillor Blanchette.
It's well needed.
It's well needed and a terrific addition in case of what we experienced last winter.
Yep.
Further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.4, temporary use permit 2106 for 23 Cedar Street. A couple of recommendations here. First one, initial approval of temporary use permit 2106 for 23 Cedar Street provided via resolution number 30721 at the October 26th regular meeting of council be rescinded. Councillor Pearson, Councillor Blanchette, discussion on rescindment. Procedure. All in favor? It's carried. And the second recommendation that temporary use permit number 2106 for 23 Cedar Street, legally described as Lot B, District Lot 9778, District Caribou District Plan EPP 67986, proposing a temporary residential structure be given initial approval as amended. Councillor MacLean, Councillor G, discussion. Some cleanup there. All in favor? It's carried. 8.5, temporary use permit 2107 at 1280 Juniper Street. Recommendation that TUP 2107 for 1280 Juniper Street, legally described as Lot 1, District Lot 7356, Caribou District Plan 10557, proposing a temporary residential structure be given initial approval. Councillor MacLean, Councillor Blanchette, any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.6, temporary use permit 2108. Recommendation here that TUP 2108 for 1975 Hillside Mine Road, legally described as Lot A, District Lot 7354, Caribou District Plan BCP 8204, proposing a temporary residential structure be given initial approval. Councillor G, Councillor Pearson, discussion. All in favor? It's carried. Section 9, bylaws and policies, 9.1. Village of Valemount Wood Burning Appliance Regulation Amendment Bylaw number 848, 2021. Recommendation here that it be given first, second, and third reading. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean, any discussion? Councillor Blanchette.
I just want to reiterate that bylaw is very big on education first. So I don't want everybody to think that they're just going to rush to give fines out, because that's not the case. Yeah, no. Education is going to be big in our approach.
That's awesome. Thank you for bringing that forward. All in favor? It's carried. 9.2, bylaw notice enforcement and dispute adjudication amendment bylaw number 850, 2021, be given first, second, third reading. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean, any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Village of Valemount Council Remuneration Bylaw number 853, 2021. Recommendation that it be adopted as presented. Councillor Pearson, Councillor Blanchette, any discussion on final adoption? All in favor? It's carried. 9.4, Village of Valemount Fees and Charges Amendment Bylaw number 854, 2021. Recommendation here given first, second, third reading. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean, any discussion on first, second, third? All in favor? It's carried. And 9.5, Village of Valemount Temporary Residential Structures number policy number 83 be approved as presented. Councillor MacLean, Councillor Pearson, discussion for adoption. All in favor? It's carried. No new business this morning. Are there any notices of motion to be brought forward? Council reports. Councillor G.
I have nothing council related to report.
Thank you. Councillor Blanchette.
The 17th, we had our community sub-network working group meeting, and today we had our clean air task force. So I just want to let you all know that we're working on our plan. We want a functional annual plan, how we're going to implement it, and it will be carried out with action items. So that's what we're working on right now. We had a really good conversation today, hit a lot of points, and we're really excited moving forward for the next one. So it's all good.
How's Ministry of Environment staff?
Good, really,
Yeah.
really helpful, because they're the brains, right? you know, and they come to the table all the time with all of this great stuff, the statistics. The big thing that we talked about today was the burning of garbage in your wood-burning stove. And I didn't know that it's illegal to burn garbage.
It should be.
Yes, it is. Provincially or federally, do you remember, Councillor MacLean? One of the two. But it is illegal to burn garbage because of all of the stuff that's emitted once it's burnt. So that was a real eye-opener. It was a real eye-opener to find out that so many people are burning garbage for whatever reasons. So we need to educate and get that to not happen. So that was a big one today. We had our bylaw officer sitting in with us, and he had some great ideas, and we're excited going forward.
So I'm guessing garbage wasn't included in the Burn It Right workshop a couple years ago?
It probably was, but you never know, right? Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah.
Anything further, Councillor?
No.
Thank you. Councillor MacLean?
I had two things. On the 9th, I attended a CBT Local Government Committee online meeting. And this morning, along with Councillor Blanchette, I attended the Clean Air Committee Task Force meeting.
Any updates from the Local Governments Committee?
No,
No, not at this time.
not at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Pearson?
November 17th was kind of a busy day, so had a DMO meeting, Destination Marketing Organization meeting, working through the ongoing transition in that direction, followed by what I call the NERD group, the Northern Interior Rural Division of Family Practice Primary Care Network, Mackenzie Robson Valley Regional Subnet.
N-I-R-D.
Yeah, the NERD.
Yeah.
Some great work being done there. A lot of it is towards recruitment and filling necessary positions in the community at the health center. But one of the other things that we're working towards is a Pathways to Care document. And our neighbors in McBride have created a really great document that we are looking to create a very similar document. And it is not just at seniors or people, but anybody that is moving through the levels of care and what resources are available and at your different levels. So it was a great discussion. Sat in on the Regional District Public Safety Emergency Management Standing Committee meeting that afternoon. There were a couple very good reports on the Swift Creek slide and how that's being monitored. And then there was a presentation by ECOM on emergency contacts, and unfortunately they ran into some technical difficulties, and so that meeting was cut short. Hopefully that'll come back at a later date.
Not rescheduled, but a planning session for rescheduling on the 15th of December.
Perfect, thanks. That was it for me, thanks.
Thank you very much. But the Swift Creek slide presentation, Tim was able to take you all the way through?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Not us, in the border. November 10th, this is specifically most of these are specifically for Councillor Pearson because he's been missing it so much. The Southeast BC Region Connectivity Committee met with MLA Sheri Bond to bring her up to speed on where we're at with the universal broadband funding application we put forward. November 11th, Remembrance Day ceremony, was truly honored to represent Valemount in the laying of a wreath at Royal Canadian Legion Branch 266. November 15th, Southeast BC Regional Connectivity Committee meeting, which included a presentation from the province on cybercrime and municipalities. November 15th, attended an emergency meeting of the Valemount Community Forest Board of Directors regarding the old growth deferral announcement. November 16th, professional housing meeting with the Northern Health Authority. Later that day, a Southeast BC Regional Connectivity meeting with Minister Bear. November 16th, had a old growth deferral briefing with MLA Sheri Bond, the PG District Manager John Hybris, and Highway 16 and 97 reps. And we're joined by Chief Logan of the Clayton. And then that evening had a VARTA Board of Directors meeting. November 17th had a VCF discussion with President Jackman, our ICAO Doug Fleming, our Director of Finance Lori McNee, and their manager Craig Pryor. Later that afternoon, I chaired the RDFFG Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee. The 18th was a slew of RD meetings, first in the morning, chairing the Agricultural Land Use Committee, followed by their Environmental and Parks Committee, the Regional Hospital Board. Over lunch, we had a flooding update in Southwest BC with Ministers Osborne, Farnworth, Fleming, and Popham, which included a very wide range of mayors and chairs of the coastal Vancouver Island and northern region. We didn't make it through all the Q&A. We had to get back into RDFFG board, which started at 1:30. The 19th had a Southeast BC connectivity Minister Bear debrief with Johnny Strelioff of the Columbia Basin Trust. And on the 19th had a real last minute organizational meeting with our Superintendent of Public Works, Trevor Pelche, and Lieutenant Matthews of the National Defense Department. And that was me in the last couple of weeks. Motion to receive. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, any questions that weren't raised during the reports? All in favor? It's received. Now give notice to proceed in camera to an in-camera council meeting for consideration of 8 items.
Mr. Mayor?
Sir.
Public comment?
That's right. Thank you very much for that point of order. 14.1, public comments on items considered by council as part of the approved agenda. Are there any public comments this evening? Thank you very much. Now giving notice to proceed in camera for consideration of 8 items per section 91C, E, I, K of the Community Charter to discuss matters related to C, labor relations and other employee relations, E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements if the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality, I, the receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, and finally K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at their preliminary stages and that, in the view of the council, could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality if they were held in public. Mover, Councillor Pearson, Councillor Blanchette. Discussion, all in favor? It's carried.